What's up everybody, Zach Draper here. I got another kiteboarding lesson here for you. Today I'm going to be teaching you about the wind window. It's going to be a vital part of understanding how your kite flies, since it's the space your kite flies through. I'll be going over finding the wind direction, vocabulary, the shape of the wind window, the power zone, and how all this changes with the wind. And if you stay tuned till the end, I got a nice little kite edit for you, so you can get stoked to get out there on the water. Alright, so we're going to start off with finding the wind direction. So you got to go find a spot where the wind isn't going to be obstructed by any trees or other obstacles, and closest to the water will probably be your best bet. Once you have found a nice unobstructed spot, hold your arms out to your sides in this nice T pose. And you can go ahead and sway back and forth just like this. And you're feeling for a nice even pressure on each of your hands and a nice even whistling sound in each of your ears. When you have found that nice even pressure and even whistling sound, this will be the direction the wind is coming from. And you're going to turn around and basically just repeat. And once you feel the wind nice and even on both of your hands and in your ears, you can point your arms straight out in front of you. This will be the wind direction. Alright, and then you can go ahead and double check your findings by just taking a quick look at the trees. Look around, see anything that's blowing in the wind. And you can also take a little bit of sand, toss it up in the air, or anything else light, maybe some blades of grass or something of that sort. Just remember to double check downwind of you and make sure you're not throwing sand in anybody's face. Don't want to be that kid on the beach. Oh yeah, this is just to double check what you found out. Perfect. So once you got that all figured out, you got the wind direction down, it's time to learn how we talk about the wind. Okay, so to start off, we're going to talk about you and the wind. So this is your position in relation to the wind. So we have upwind, downwind, and crosswind. And I think we'll start off with upwind right here. It's going to be where the wind is coming from. So with the wind at your back, everything behind you will be upwind. This is also describing when you are moving into the wind. So as you can see on our diagram here, right hand side there, that's the wind direction. Middle right there is going to be us, and then everything that black bar is upwind of us. And now we have downwind. It's going to be opposite of upwind. So with your back to the wind, everything in front of you will be downwind. This is also describing when you're moving with the wind. And you see our diagram right here, just like that. Pretty straightforward. And now we have crosswind. So this is going to be our direction perpendicular to the wind. So with the back to the wind and your arms in a nice T-pose, your arms are going to point in that crosswind direction. This is also describing when you're moving in the same direction as that nice black bar right there. Alright, so now we're going to move into the wind and how it relates to the beach. We have 5 basic directions here: side shore, onshore, offshore, and side onshore, and then also side offshore. So this is going to determine how safe your spot is. Start with side shore. It's going to be when the wind pushes down the beach. It can be shadowed and gusty on the land. It is easy to get off the beach and make it back if anything happens. It is the second most safe direction. So basically the wind direction is parallel with the beach line right there, just like this, as you can see. Alright, and now we have an onshore. It's going to be when the wind pushes in towards the land. It's usually a bit smoother, although you will need a little more power to get away from the beach. And if anything happens, you will get pushed back towards the land, making launching and landing the most dangerous part. So just like this, wind is perpendicular to the beach, pushing towards the shore or land. And offshore. So this is going to be when the wind is pushing away from land, basically the opposite of onshore. Pretty straightforward. It's usually a little bit gustier and harder to get back to the beach if anything happens. And the wind will push you out towards sea. This is why offshore is the most dangerous conditions to be kiting in, so make sure you have an exit plan. Alright, now we have a combination of side and offshore. So side offshore, pretty straightforward. This is going to be a little bit gustier, close to the shoreline or maybe shadowed, it is easy to get off the beach, but could be difficult to get back, especially if you go down out there. That wind's going to want to push you farther out to sea. So yeah, be safer in these side offshore. And now we have the safest condition, which is a side onshore. This is a combination of onshore and side shore. So this is going to be the best direction to kite in. The wind will usually be a bit smoother with little to no wind shadow, and it'll be nice and easy to get back to the beach if anything happens out there. So make sure you are learning in these onshore directions, or sorry, side onshore. Alright, so now that you got all that boring vocab out of the way, let's get into the more complicated stuff. It's time to learn about the wind window. This is the space that your kite flies through, so it's super important to understand how to move your kite and how it will pull you. Okay, so do you remember when we stood in that T-pose when we were finding the wind direction? Well, this will also come in handy when we are learning about the wind window. So go ahead and stand in that T-pose just like this, and then where your hands are pointing, that will be the edge of the wind window in that cross-wind direction, and then also straight above you. You can think of this as a nice rainbow shape. The distance from you to the edge of the wind window will be the length of your lines. This is just how far away your kite is flying. Now on the edge of the wind window, we have different positions where your kite is flying. Straight above you we have noon or 12 o'clock. Then just like a clock face, we have 1, 2, and 3. And then 9, 10, and 11. And then in between 1 and 2 and 10 and 11, we have 45 degrees. This is just going to help you understand where you are placing your kite in the wind window. Okay, so now that we understand the edge of the wind window and the different kite positions along it, it's time to talk about the shape of the wind window. So we basically have a half dome shape that is directly above us, starting at the edge of the wind window and extending all the way down to the ground. It's just going to be the space that your kite flies through, and once you actually start flying your kite, you'll understand this much better. So after you started flying your kite a little bit, you will probably feel that directly in front of you will be a lot more power than just on the edges of the wind window. This is called the power zone, or the power gradient. This is probably the most important part about the wind window, because it will help you understand where the power is and how much the kite is going to pull you. So we can think of this power zone as a nice gradient fading from a nice green color where the least power is right on the edge of the wind window, all the way into a yellow and then a red right in front of you where the most power is. The closer to directly in front of you that you fly your kite, the more power you will generate. And as you can see in my video here, if I do a nice big scoop into that power zone, it's going to pull me down the beach a little ways. And you can see before, I wasn't really moving from the same spot because I wasn't really scooping the power. I was keeping the kite right on the edge of the wind window. Now when you are learning to fly the kite, it's good that you learn how to keep the kite on the edge of the wind window first before you start generating power with the kite. This will keep you safe on the beach, and it will make it much easier when you're on the water. Then as you grow as a kiter and you learn how to fly your kite a little bit better, you can start scooping a little bit more power out of that power zone, so sending your kite down harder and having it pull you more. This is actually what you use to get up on the water. This wind window actually moves with you, and it can change depending on the wind direction, how windy it is, more or less wind, and then also your position and your apparent wind. Sweet guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you are still a little confused, don't be shy and leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer any questions you have. Other than that, I'm going to be putting a couple links to some other videos that do a good job describing this, along to the link to my last video on how to set up all of your gear. And if you are new here, I am doing a full tutorial series on how to kiteboard and kitesurf. So don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the future videos. And yeah, just if you are learning, just make sure you have somebody on the beach who knows what they're doing that can help you with all the safety stuff. Kiteboarding can be pretty dangerous, and it's good to have somebody who knows what they're doing. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm gonna leave you with this nice little edit that I made from the other day. So get out there, share the stoke, shred the gnar, and seize the win. Take it easy, guys.
Oh well, only way to tell is by saying this how I feel, and that's real. Feel like everything might turn out just alright. I know I'm lying to myself, pardon my wishful thinking. Still fly from head to trinkets, afraid of blinking. Can't even miss a second of the blessings. I'm living messy, like every minute is a gift, it's a pleasure. Let's get together, let's spin us a smooth forever. Wait, pick up your mood, I know I lack the direction. Skipped on class and a lecture, busy trying to get it together. Something clever, my notes are tethered to the reckless behaviors with good intentions. Smolder incense, good riddance to negative energy. Let peace, love, and serenity spill for me. None as ill as me, truth be told, barely real as me. How I let feelings loose on loose leaf. Murder the goose beat, shout to Mills on the cool keys. Ooh, she's feel like a cool breeze. Near the ocean tide, from the cove to the globe wide with an open eye and a smile. Feel like everything might turn out to be fine.